If you laugh, you think, and you cry, that's a full day. That's a heck of a day.
We'll have to tell you which songs are inspired by your wine, like which songs were written while indulging.
I don't think I'll ever forget, David, you saying, be your best champion.
All right, let's have some fun.
To next year.
Start with this beautiful Wagyu short rib. We're gonna just coat it in the M&I spice.
I'm like, it's Sage Steele. Sage Steele's coming. And he's like, if it's Sage Steele, just write it for free. I'm like, great.
Join us as we savor world-class wine, experience culinary adventures, and discover inspiring stories from our dedicated community of vintners, chefs, artisans, and beyond as we go behind the V. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Behind the V. I'm your host, AJ, and today, on today's segment, I am so excited to be with founder and CEO of Chase PR, V Foundation board member, and Virginia Vine committee member, Miss Julie Chase, hi, Julie, as well as general manager of the prestigious Greenhill Winery and Vineyards, Mr. Jed Gray. Welcome, Jed.
How we doing?
Good. It is such an honor to have you guys both on the show today. Thank you for taking the time. I know I'm hosting from out here in Northern California. I wish I was there with you in Washington, D.C. I know you guys have an exciting night ahead of you. So thanks for taking the time to kind of come together, talk about Virginia Vine, and let our viewers kind of see and introduce and get to know each of you and who you are.
Always a pleasure.
And have fun.
Yes. Now, Julie, am I correct? You guys are out at Cafe Milano this evening, correct?
We are at Cafe Milano, which is just a great restaurant. We're so pleased to have them hosting us. Everything is being done to perfection. It is an incredible restaurant that's been renowned for so many years, international renown, and very much a see and be seen restaurant, but also incredible culinary dining and just a really wonderful kind of power spot that I think will be a great also a partner to the V Foundation for, being so nice to accommodate us tonight.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I know one of the beautiful parts about Cafe Milano and Washington, D.C. is that it really isn't that far from our main event in Virginia, out in Middleburg. Is that right?
That's right. I mean, what's exciting about having Middleburg so close is that I think it gives everyone the opportunity to feel like if they want to go to the Virginia Vine, they're going to have a weekend retreat, but it's not longer than about 45 minutes to an hour to get there. And we're going to explore more of the wine country there between Stone Tower, being at Salamander, Greenhill, and just the joy of being out in the country. So it's perfect.
Oh, that's wonderful. All right, for everyone just joining us, as a reminder, I'm here with V Foundation board member and Virginia Vine committee chair, it's a mouthful, Miss Julie Chase, as well as Jed Gray from Greenhill Vineyards. Please let us know you're here. Say hello. Drop any questions in the comments. We're happy to answer them for you. Now, Jed, Greenhill has garnered quite a name for itself. I was going to try to list the awards, but I feel like it's going to be better for you to say them because there were so many. I thought it would be much better for you to go over a lot of the accolades. They really have created a name for themselves, both not just in Virginia wine country, but nationally.
Well, thank you. And, that's one of the guiding goals of our winery is we're focused on, producing the best wine from Virginia fruit only. And that's not something that's done across the board in Virginia or the Mid-Atlantic from that standpoint, just locally sourced fruit. And it's a challenge year in, year out because you have different the vintages are different fruit quality levels. But, one of my goals since coming on board at Greenhill was really basically to not make a name or enhance the name of Greenhill just in the local community, but get the recognition beyond our borders. And we've been very fortunate from that standpoint. And, to that extent, some of the wines we'll be sharing with you this evening are what we've got the most recent accolades for, and that's our will be our 2019 Petite Manseng that was voted as the best Petite Manseng in the entire country by the San Francisco Chronicle, which is, I couldn't be more excited about that. You
That's
always
fantastic.
you submit something and you hope it gets recognized. Which is a goal, but to be best in class was fantastic. And the red we'll share with you this evening was also given a gold medal by the Chronicle as well this year. And so it's good to be recognized by your local peers, but even better nationally and hopefully internationally as we go along.
Congratulations on this accomplishment. I feel like that's a perfect transition. I was going to ask you to take us through the first wine we'll be tasting tonight. I feel like it's very appropriately the Blanc de Blanc and a celebratory.
Right. The first wine this evening, cheers to everybody.
Cheers.
There we go. Is our 2016 Reserve Blanc de Blanc. And this is our traditional sparkling Chardonnay. Obviously, we can't call it champagne. We all know why, unfortunately. But it is done method champenois, just like they do back in the old world. And this particular wine, it's just given a little more TLC, if you will. And what I mean by that is 48 months fermentation and bottle conditioning before it is basically transferred into its final product. And so this wine that we're tasting right now actually was finished off at the end of December. So it's really, really fresh. The Reserve always has a little more of weightier mouthfeel to it, a little more of a fruit component. It can get a little brioche, if you will. And so stylistically, it's really in a sort of, I like to think of it as an advanced sparkling, where our main line is a little more brighter and fresher and, casual, everyday sparkling. We want to step it up. We go to the Reserve, obviously.
But like the brioche, it's very light too. So I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. But it's sparkling is one of the things that we've become known for at Greenhill. We're very, very proud of, and this is only our second vintage of the Reserve, and it has been well received, including inside the building with our staff.
And I will say, again, this wasn't on the script, but I did want to bring up, wasn't one of your, if I remember correctly, wasn't one of the sparkling that you produced also had the honor of being in, I believe it was one of the swag bags at an awards show. Is that correct?
Correct. Our sparkling wine was in the 2016 swag bag at the Oscars. So we're very, very fortunate for that. Got a couple of celebrity endorsements, accolades from there, and never a bad thing when somebody prominent enjoys your wines, right?
Absolutely. So on that note, as we're trying this wine, I already feel so celebratory. This is amazing. Can you give us a little bit of history on the winery? How it started, how long it's been around? Let us know a little bit about it.
It's a very, very cool winery. One of the vineyard itself dates back to 1985, one of the first vineyards in Northern Virginia that was planted. The original winery itself was Swedenborg Winery. Very low key operation, and in 2013, the founders of Swedenborg passed, and our current owner, David Greenhill, had the opportunity to purchase the property. He's originally from North Carolina, but he really fell in love with the Middleburg area and the lifestyle and the culture and the community that exists in Middleburg, and he was for years looking for an opportunity to become part of the community, and this winery presented itself, and he literally jumped at the opportunity. And so from at the end of August 2013 to today, we are operating as Greenhill Vineyards, and it's just been, it started as a very small production, less than 2,000 cases annually, and now we've really grown over the years to over 6,000 cases, and we have two separate vineyard sites. We have our primary site in Middleburg, Virginia, and then also south of Charlottesville. So it's very, very cool in that sense, is that we have two different vineyards and two different microclimates and terroirs. And so though we do grow similar varietals at both sites, they have different expressions. And one of the things that we're working towards is to really create a single varietal wines from each site, so you can actually see the difference and not just get blended away. But one of the things we're passionate, as most people are in the wine industry, we're passionate about what we do, and we try to push the envelope a little bit. So right now we have 12 different varietals that we grow between the two sites, but I have a lot of experiments taking place in the vineyard, and one of them being that's coming to fruition this year is Chenin Blanc. And, not widely planted in the Mid-Atlantic, but it's something that could really find a new place of prominence as it comes into the fold. Old varietal from the Loire Valley, and you can do it dry, oaked, off dry, dessert, sparkling, very versatile, and it's something that we're really looking forward to. This year is going to be the first vintage for it.
Wow. That is so cool. I didn't realize that you had a vineyard down in Charlottesville as well. Mm-hmm. And so that's very intriguing because obviously anyone who knows Virginia wine knows that Middleburg and Charlottesville, very different terroirs. Also, wanted to make sure one of the things that fascinates me specifically about you, Jed, and what you're doing is that you are actually, or were at one point, from the West Coast. And so I'd love to hear kind of your input, especially coming from the West Coast wine country, and going into Virginia, if there's any sort of specific, what is your favorite thing that makes Virginia wine country unique? Or if there's any sort of specific things that you've discovered going from West Coast to East Coast?
Well, full disclosure, yes, I'm a native Californian, and I grew up in Davis, California, home of wine education in the States, and if not the world. So 40 minutes away from Napa. And, I never in my wildest dreams growing up there thought I'd be in the wine business. I was a historian. And sort of fell into the wine business and never looked back once I got into it. When I first got into the business out on the East Coast, I was the first to say that, Virginia wines, Mid-Atlantic wines really had shortcomings. But the wonderful thing about this industry is that, 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, it was really just finding its footing, people trying to figure out what varietals were really thriving here, how to make the best wine, trying to find the identity of this area. And over the course of the better part of really 10 years, you've seen the industry grow leaps and bounds. And whether it be us, early mountain, right down the Charlottesville area, there's such a wonderful understanding of what's working here, what varietals thrive, the application of the failures over the early course of 20 years of growing vines and making wine in the Mid-Atlantic. And so what excites me is being a part of, the evolution and the next chapter in a wine region. You look at Napa, and everybody knows what. I love Napa, and Sonoma. It's great, but you know what to expect. Its identity is for a large part set in stone, right? You know what a Napa cab is, right? Here, it's still evolving. We're still learning. We're still writing the book, and it's phenomenal to be a participant in writing those next chapters. And for ourselves, just say that Cop Franc is taking prominence in this area. Okay, well, what does Cop Franc actually really mean? And I think that's a varietal that one day I think people can actually pop the cork, no matter where you are in the country, and say that's a Cop Franc from Virginia, right? Mm-hmm. Or this is a Viognier from Virginia, or like we'll taste next, maybe this is a Petit Manseng from Virginia, and you understand, you recognize, and you enjoy that identity. It's an exciting time to be part of this business in this area.
Absolutely. The word pioneering just keeps coming to me, and I feel like that's a perfect word for what I've discovered, obviously, coming from Napa and Sonoma and going over to Virginia. That really is the culture that you see. It's pioneering. And I know, my colleague Max and I obviously work with a lot of the wineries on both sides, West Coast and East Coast. And one of the things that we both mentioned that we're just so excited for is that all the pioneering that's been done in Virginia, and that we just feel like they're on this verge of awesomeness of what you're going to discover there. So I'm excited for you guys as well. We can't wait to see what comes out. So obviously, Jed, we've known each other for a few years now. Greenhill's been such an amazing supporter of the V Foundation, and we can't thank you enough. And even being here today, we thank you for this generous give back offer that you're offering to our viewers. I do know we're going to be utilizing the code VWine, and Greenhill is going to be generously giving 25% back to the V Foundation. Can you let us know a little bit more? I believe it's experiencegreenhill.com, correct? And I'll have it down in the video.
And you simply go to our online store, and we're going to open it up to any wine that's currently available in our store, and you just have to make your selection and use the code, and we will happily give back 25% of any purchase for the entire month of April. And obviously, we hope you will make a couple of pickups of the wines we're trying tonight, as hopefully we're getting to get your enthusiasm going on them. But anything that you want, we're happy to give back to the V Foundation and have the opportunity to support you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Isn't that incredible? And this is one of the reasons why I loved even starting Behind the V, is to give everyone this opportunity to not only get to know our vintners, get to know the people, our board members, the people behind our mission, but it's also to give, it gives others the opportunity to give back even more. So we can't thank you enough. That's such a generous offer. Again, if you go to experiencegreenhill.com, use the code V as in victory, so VWine, and they will be giving 25% back for the month of April. So thank you. Now, Julie, thanks. Sorry, Jed. So Julie, I know a little bit of your story. I would love for our viewers to get to know you. You have been such an integral part of the V Foundation. You were one of those board members that immediately came in. You jumped in with both feet. Obviously, now you're the Virginia Vine Committee Chair. We absolutely adore having you on our team.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Can you tell us a little bit more about why the V Foundation? We know that you have many options on different nonprofits that you can be a part of and support. Why the V Foundation? Can you tell us a little bit more about your story with that?
Yeah, I have been on many nonprofit boards over my many years, in and out of different experiences and whatnot. And at a certain point, you realize you've really got to put all your energy towards what you care the most about. And in my family, it was my brother being in a pediatric trial as a child, having his leg amputated from osteosarcoma, and then being veritably the only survivor of that clinical trial at NIH. I began then wanting to, see what my future would be, whether I would go into medicine or what the future holds per se. Eventually, I did start a PR firm that was half dedicated to healthcare and the other half was dedicated to real estate. And on the healthcare side, I did work a lot with the Community Oncology Alliance, and I think community oncology is so important, chemotherapy, et cetera, the whole experience. At that time, my mother was diagnosed with cancer, so she had bladder cancer. And before she passed, I had the opportunity to go to lunch with our dear friend Rosa from ESPN. And Rosa said, yes, I can see your passion for your wanting to give to cancer. Please go out to the wine celebration in Napa. So there was no decision making on my part. I was going to go out. And really, more than anything, getting out there and going to what we refer to more as the Scientific Advisory Board, but Voices for Victory now, blew me away because I thought it was the most responsible incorporation of where your money goes into also having a fun weekend. And it was educational and enlivening and just made you feel like there's a lot of hope by hearing where your dollars have gone and how much research there's been. So when you think now that there's been $265 million raised for cancer research through the V Foundation and these events, there's just no stopping us. So with that, I also knew that it had bothered me quite a bit. I did live in San Francisco for 15 years, and when I came back to the DC area where I grew up, I had recalled there was a very strong organization event for cancer, and that seems to have dissipated. So I really wanted to fill that void. I knew there was something there that we could work on. And so again, when I learned of this burgeoning opportunity with Virginia Vine, I thought, oh my gosh, I just want to get my arms and legs around that and just push it forward as best I can. So I've been thrilled to be a part of this. And I mean, obviously in-house at the V Foundation, you come up with these great ideas and you're working, the team is just amazing. But the more we on the outside, being on the board, being in the community, can bring to it, I think this is going to be something that one day I want to be as bold as the wine celebration. We've got a ways to go. This year, I want to definitely raise more than $1 million in our hybrid virtual event. But I think it's going to be something that will go head to head with the wine celebration at some point. But we're not 25 years old the way they are, or 21 years old, I guess I should say. We're only going into our 6th annual. So I'll give us a little rest, but we're going to be aggressive.
That's amazing. And I think one of the key things you talk about there too, that is so important and I think really makes, I'm sure a lot of nonprofits have this, but I think one of the things I'm so grateful for with our board members in particular is how collaborative they are. You know, there truly is a collaboration and a heart between our board members and our staff in creating this. And I think that one of the things with you jumping in with both feet, you were definitely one of those board members that did that. So
yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I applaud Rosa for really being the genesis of all this for me. But then, you know, Harry Rhodes, who is the head of the nominating committee on the board, reached out to me. We had dinner and I realized he was asking me to be on the board and I was just absolutely blown away. But he's been a very special friend to me and quite a good Sherpa on the board. One of the reasons why I picked immunotherapy for this 6th annual Virginia Vine is because Harry was effectively saved after his 4th bout with cancer by immunotherapy. Dr. Joe Moore had been taking excellent care of him during the 4 different times he had, you know, been diagnosed and re-diagnosed. And then Dr. Moore realized that really immunotherapy was probably the best for him and contacted Dr. Scott Pruitt. And that was 13 years ago. So Harry's still trucking along.
Yes, he is. Yep. We love Harry. And yes, I also do agree with you. I absolutely see, you know, being a member of the wine team, I've been with the V Foundation probably for about 9 years now. And you can definitely see the momentum building in Virginia. It's exciting. I truly feel actually it's very similar to what we were just discussing with Jay. There's a lot of pioneering going on.
Yes.
So I do believe Virginia Vine is going to go head to head with Wine Celebration in a completely different way. And that's what I love about our signature events. It's each one of them has their own feel to it. And to be able to bring in the Virginia and the DC market into this beautiful, very, very unique event, you know, I don't see it being just like Wine Celebration. It definitely stands out on its own. It's an exciting event. It's one that we love being able to promote and go to each year.
Yeah, and it's very different from all the other events in Washington, D.C. or other major cities because we don't want to have a gala with the ball gowns and the this and that. So we have the opportunity to go out to the country and the wine auction itself is so lively. Of course, the Voices for Victory is educational. So you kind of get that under your belt in the morning. You think it through. You go to the live auction. And then this new thing that we're starting this year with the singer-songwriter program, I think just kind of also is inclusive of this multi-pronged, just pop, different weekend that's still very casual, laid back, and all for good.
Thank you so much again, Julie. It's so wonderful. And we're going to be talking a little bit more about Virginia Vine and all those details here in a little bit. In the meantime, Jed, I think it's time for us to try our next wine. Can you take us through the next wine we'll be tasting?
Absolutely, of course. So the next wine is our 2019 Petit Manseng. And Petit Manseng's a varietal from southwest France. And one of the great advantages that we have grown it in the Mid-Atlantic is fairly large clusters, but they're loose and a little smaller berries. And so one of the keys for cultivating high quality fruit here in the Mid-Atlantic is you have varietals like Petit Manseng where you don't have to battle rot and other fungal diseases throughout the growing season because of our humid, more wet summers, if you will. And so Petit Manseng is growing in its plantings and then also its recognition in the state. And a lot of people tend to use Petit Manseng as a dessert wine. And that is principally because the clusters get fully ripened in this area, and it lends itself easily to turn into something sugary sweet. But one of the things that we're interested in, and our winemaker Ben Comstock is passionate about, is making Petit Manseng in a dry style. And this particular wine was aged in French oak for 9 months, and primarily in neutral barrels. And what that really helps do with this wine that tends to have high sugar, high acidity levels in it, is that neutral oak sort of balances out some of the imbalance that naturally exists within this fruit and or this varietal, should I say? And so you don't have raging acidity, which is often the case when you have the dry style Petit Manseng. And this and the neutral oak doesn't allow it to be sort of overridden by that oak construction. We always go back to the classic example, the oaky, buttery California Chardonnays, right? This is not. It just has that touch to create what we thought was a perfect balance, and the Chronicle thought so as well.
Here's to that.
Cheers.
And you're right, Jed. I've had. Julie, have you tried other Petit Mansengs from Virginia?
I don't know that I have. I mean, I think this is the only one. And I was just going to say that I kind of get how you could have it with dessert, particularly with some light cheeses. But it's a nice drinking wine in and of itself, and it's at a great temperature right now. And I can see it would be lovely in the summertime.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. It's actually, I may have snuck a couple bottles out after it was bottled, and had it with Thanksgiving dinner myself a few months ago. And this wine hasn't officially been released yet. This was sort of its coming out party, if you will, to share with you all, and it will be made available for purchase the first time.
I love it.
That's great. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yes. Now, Jed, once again, just reminding all of our viewers, thank you again for the generous give back offer of 25% back to the V Foundation for the month of April. Again, so grateful for your partnership. If you visit experiencegreenhill.com, use the code VWine upon checkout, they'll be donating 25% of those proceeds back to the V Foundation for the month of April. Jed, for you, talking about Greenhill, you have been such a great supporter. Why the V Foundation for Greenhill? Why do you choose to partner with us?
To be honest with you, I've never really been a participant in activism or foundations like the V Foundation and supporting causes. And but I was very fortunate to attend the V Foundation event a couple years ago, and I was completely moved by the positivity, the energy that existed within the room of everybody, not just that worked there, everybody that was attending the event, and then people at the resort that were hosting it. It was something dynamic and uplifting about it. And for me, it struck particularly because my mom had bone cancer when I was about 2 years old. She was in her early 30s, and very grateful she survived and is still roaring along to this day, happily so. But I reflect back, and I think everybody who's had a family member with cancer, particularly if it's affected you at a young age or them at a younger age, is that I cannot look back in my life and imagine it without my mom, just for selfish reasons. But I also fully recognize I would not be the person today if I didn't have my mom in my life. And balances or imbalances, but we can't let life be taken from us, from cancer. We have to fight back, and we have to, give it as much pushback as it gives to us to interrupt our lives. And I was really just moved the first event that I attended, and I wanted to, from that day forward, be a participant and hopefully a partner with the Vine Foundation to really combat cancer and support fundraising to basically make sure it doesn't affect our lives and diminish our lives in any facet going forward.
Well, you truly have done just that. You definitely have become a partner with us, and we are so grateful to have you involved. And thank you for sharing your story. I feel like a lot of what you're describing of what you experienced at our event, I'm sure Julie will probably agree with me on this one, is that spirit behind, Jim Valvano's legacy with the V Foundation. And it's that entire tagline, don't give up, don't ever give up.
And it's to jump back on it. I mean, it's when there's so many times when you're thinking about cancer that it's negative, and there's low energy, but you walk into any V Foundation event and you feel your spirits lift, you feel as if anything can be accomplished. And particularly in this day and age with society and everything that we're combating, to walk into those type of environments, it's such a feel good. It's almost intoxicating in a way.
How does that make you feel as a board member?
Well, I mean, it's funny because I think so often all roads lead back to North Carolina and the Valvanos. We're saying Greenhill, David's originally from North Carolina. Here we are up in Virginia drinking his wine. That kind of comes together. And Dr. Moore, who I mentioned, who treated Harry Rhodes, he's obviously down there, and so is Scott Pruitt. And Jim Moore also did treat Jimmy Valvano. And so it all is just this great thing. And I think so many of the people who were the founding board members and who started out with Jimmy V and who loved him as a coach, that all carries on. ESPN's involvement has been so important to us, and that just broadens our reach to everywhere. That just couldn't be a better experience to have the competitiveness of sports people who are competing to raise more money.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again, Jed, for sharing your story. Now, obviously, the main reason we're here today is not only to feature Greenhill Vineyards, but also to talk about Virginia Vine. So, Julie, I know that we're going to talk about Virginia Vine here in a minute, but first, let's go ahead and take a look firsthand at a little video we have of some of our supporters and just get a little bit of an inside look in Virginia.
Good food, good wine, good people. It's hard to beat that.
I think every year's gotten better. Virginia has, I believe it's ranked 4th in the country when it comes to wineries. They talk about Napa, and you talk about New York and Oregon, places like that. We're sort of a very well-kept secret, to be honest with you.
We're not just a party, we're just not a good time. I mean, we're here to help people.
It's just everything I've ever wanted to be able to appreciate with a nonprofit organization, with the ability to have a good group of people all walking in lockstep towards the right thing and knowing where every dollar is spent.
It's so much fun.
We know that cancer can imminently be defeated. That's why we have this dinner tonight. That's why we are trying to raise as much money as we possibly can to find a cure for cancer.
Here at Stone Tower, one of our favorite things about the winery in general is it's a place for people to come and reconnect with the folks that they love and spend some time. This event helps us raise money for the V Foundation to give more people that same amount of time with their loved ones.
To me, research symbolizes hope, that there is hope, that no matter what stage that you find yourself, there's something going on in the world of science that is going to be helpful.
Cancer looms out there, and if we can find a way to be able to defeat it, it'd be the most monumental thing to happen in anybody's lifetime.
Wow. I think those words that Harry said at the end of that, those hit me. I think we need to be quoting those. Research symbolizes hope. Whew, I hadn't watched that video in a while, and that was just that is something. So Julie, obviously Virginia Vine, it's on all three of our hearts. We're all involved in it. What do you think makes Virginia Vine so unique, and what are you most excited to see from it in the coming years?
Well, I think kind of to echo some of the things I've said before, it is that, this year, of course, it's going to be a hybrid event, mostly virtual. Some people will be able to go. In fact, we just learned that we can have 50 people there, which is just huge because the COVID restrictions had us at 10 people most recently. And there'll be the opportunity for a watch party there. We can have 35 people at Greenhill for the for the Voices for Victory. And we were going to have the singer-songwriter event there, but that'll be next year. And 35 people at the winery at Stone Tower, and 50 could be at a viewing party at Salamander. And we still have some rooms there, which will be just fun to have people get out of their homes and be out in the country. I think it's just a great event all the way around, again, because it combines the education with having a lot of fun at a live auction. And it's just creating a new community of people here in the DC area who haven't gotten together to really discuss where cancer is, where research is. Jed just referred to his experience with his mother, and it's just very deep roots. So kind of like the wine roots, we're getting rooted out here in the wine country, and I think it's going to continue to expand into a longer program. Again, in following with the wine celebration, there's many little breakout opportunities that we'll eventually build out to spend time in more intimate settings with friends. And next year will also be a bigger year with greater opportunities. We're a little restricted this year. Sadly, we didn't have last year. So we didn't really lose momentum, but we just missed a year. So I think I can't say enough about how fun and different this event is from almost any other event I've been to here in the DMV.
Absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit more? I know that you mentioned one of the things that brought you into the V Foundation was the Answer for Cancer Symposium, which is what we lovingly call it out here in Napa at the wine celebration. Can you tell us a little bit more about the Voices for Victory program that we're going to be holding that morning of the 24th? Yes, April 24th.
Yes, it is April 24th, Saturday morning, bright and early. Not too early, though. It is a wonderful opportunity to hear directly from the researchers to whom we have given grants from the V Foundation, specifically in what we call every year a fund a need. So each one of our events, whether it's wine celebration or the Virginia Vine, we put a spotlight on one specific cancer or need research area. So it could be anything from the canine comparison, which is a fabulous study that we've been conducting on comparing canine cancers with human cancers. We've come a long way with that. We also take specific cancers such as colorectal or pancreatic, et cetera. And as I said earlier, this year we're focusing on immunotherapy, which the V Foundation has provided $47 million to date in research funding. And we have raised other funds at the Virginia Vine totaling over $1 million. But so a lot of this year's will be absolutely earmarked towards immunotherapy, which is a great way to approach a different way of finding cures for cancer, because this is about studying how the immune system works within your own body to attack cancer. a little less invasive than some of the chemotherapies that we know can be very injurious to our bodies and be more perilous to the patient than the cancer itself. So I think that we get to meet with the researchers. A lot of them are from, UVA, other areas in Virginia, all the great hospitals there, and learn exactly what their successes have been, where they're going, and again, where we know we're contributing to that, which is so important. So it really kind of sews the event together. It's also important to know that, by Charity Navigator, the Virginia Vine, the V Foundation writ large, is one of the most responsible charitable organizations, one of the top 2%, where every dollar is accounted for. So we can feel very good that our money is going to the right place and is not being frittered away. It's only through our foundation that we pay for some of our administrative costs, and we keep those very low as well. So all in, it just makes you feel like you're on the winning team.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the best parts about working for the V Foundation, at least for me too, is knowing that 100% of direct donations go right to cancer research. And like you said, it's through our endowment that all of our administrative costs are paid for. So it is. It's definitely one of the things that has kept me here for so many years, is knowing.
And don't go away.
Yeah, no, I'm not going anywhere, I promise. No, it is. But it's that mix of being financially responsible and also the community that I know that we've touched on so much here in this interview today. It's really beautiful. And Jed, I know that this year we're going to be hosting our Voices for Victory broadcast, also with Ralph Sampson and Derek Wittenberg. They're at Greenhill. So we're excited to be able to bring that to you. How does that make you guys feel?
Thrilled. It's been a long year, and the fact that this event didn't transpire last year was just a further
sock in the gut.
Yeah, COVID's not enough, and all our businesses being shut down, not enough. But it's to have the timing work out perfect, that where the restrictions are being lifted and we can really sort of roar back into this event, and with all our enthusiasms that's been penned up for a year. To be honest, Greenhill's just thrilled to be able to participate and be a partner and host. It's something that we've wanted to do for better part of a year now, and we have the opportunity to do it and be a part of really just an important day on the calendar.
And speaking of, we want to thank Greenhill, of course, many, many times over, and very proud to have our hosts who are working so hard with us, because at the Voices for Victory, it will be Jay Billis and Derek Wittenberg and Ralph Sampson, our kind of hometown honey for UVA's basketball team. And then in the evening, that will be hosted by Joe Theismann and Jay Billis again. And Joe, I guess, is our other hometown honey with the Washington Redskins. Oh, so many years ago, winning that Super Bowl. We'll be back again, we hope. But it always is a fun night, and those are some pretty sparkling characters. And I know the event, as we've been working behind the scenes, we have a couple of other videos and things that will kind of sprinkle in between everything else, and we're going to have some fun surprises with a little bit of humor and pathos and a lot of fun.
It is. So just to give a little bit of an overview, as Julie was saying too, so we're going to start out that morning on April 24th with our Voices for Victory broadcast. And again, that will be with Jay Billis, Derek Wittenberg, and Ralph Sampson, as well as a panel of our doctors. And really, once again, one of the most impactful portions of the weekend, but where all the fun happens is going to be that evening. And as we've kind of hinted to before, we will be doing a hybrid event. So there will be some people in person, mostly online. Most of our stuff is going to be broadcast online. But part of that I encourage all of you, kind of an on-the-fly encouragement, perhaps even purchasing some of the Blanc de Blanc from Greenhill and hosting your own watch party. That's one of the funnest things that you can do if you can't be there in person. Go ahead and host your own watch party. Invite friends you are comfortable, obviously, how many you're comfortable with inviting over. And you can all watch the show yourself, and you can still bid, and you can give, and you can do everything online. So we do have all those options available. It is going to be exciting. As Julie said, we do have NCAA college analyst, Mr. Jay Billis. If you're not following him right now on socials, I highly recommend it. He's hilarious. He is going to be fantastic. I can tell you from personal experience, he is amazing. And also with our continuous host, Mr. Joe Theismann, we absolutely love that he hosts the event each year. And he's a hometown honey. Virginia loves him. V Foundation loves him. Joe is one of the most inspirational people I will say I've ever heard speak. And he was also there to help Jim Valvano up on the stage, and hearing his story with that has always been so impactful for me. So he'll be there that night as well. It is going to be such an inspirational evening. We're going to have some incredible, I know personally because I helped put them together, some incredible live auction lots, as well as some showcase and silent for everyone. And again, that'll all be on online bidding, so you have no excuse to miss out. So if you want, so before I get into the details on, you can find out more details at v.org/Virginia Vine, and you can find all the details there. You can sign up. But before I kind of get into those, Jed, I think we still have one more wine we need to try.
Really? Darn.
I know.
Okay.
Let me be the one to point it out.
All right. One of our flagship brand or flagship wines at Greenhill is our Philosophy, and this is our 2017 vintage. And the Philosophy is always intended to be a left bank Bordeaux style blend. So if you're familiar with Bordeaux, you understand what that means. But if you're not, the chateaus on the left bank of the area in Bordeaux are typically known as Cabernet Sauvignon-based wines or based blends. And so stylistically, we always try to do the Philosophy in the same format. This particular vintage, as does happen in Virginia from time to time, the Cab Sauv was yields in 2017 were lower, so we actually increased the amount of Petit Verdot in this blend, and it really it fits, because if you've had Petit Verdot as a single varietal, it's very, very close to how Cabernet Sauvignon can be structured, right? Huge tannins, big wine, and so it doesn't really miss a beat in this blend, which is about 42% Petit Verdot, equal parts Cab Franc, Merlot, and then about 8% Cab Sauv in there. And it actually received extended aging and new and used French oak, so 30 months in there, and it really, really gives this wine a smooth, light, more oak integration to it, and it's not overwhelming. It's always intended to be a little more on the medium body side. Beg your pardon, fat California red, if you will. But this, again, very happy, just received a gold medal from the Chronicle in the red blend category at the highest level. So,
congratulations! You can definitely tell it's in French. It's just got that subtle layer to it.
I love it. My job is so difficult, you guys.
Wine is such a difficult thing, right?
All right. Well, Jed, thank you so much for sharing that wine with us. And again, everyone can catch this on even a replay and actually go through the different tasting notes. I also encourage people to do that as well. Julie, before I go into final thoughts, is there anything final you would like to kind of let our viewers know or tell our viewers?
I would just say that I think, there is a little bit of technology involved in having a hybrid event. I know that everyone's a little bit tired of Zooms and videos and things like this, but if you can get together with another couple or just have some fun in your home, once you purchase a ticket, you will be able to sit casually in your home, and we will have sent a box of wine and appetizers to you, and you can just have a lovely evening and bid. There's two opportunities to watch it. One is through YouTube, and the other is through this new platform called Remo, which makes you feel like you're actually at the event, and you can, be sitting at a table, and then you can get up and meet with other people at other tables. All virtual, of course, but it's kind of a fun thing, and we're going to be offering opportunities for you to get, little education on how to use it. It's not that difficult at all. It really is not. I'm half Luddite, and I can do it. So So I would definitely try that. And if there's a way to, if there's a way for you to go out to Salamander, that will be so much fun too. We should have great weather, lovely drive. It's just the whole takeaway is it will be a lot more togetherness next year, but we can make it together through the videos and having fun and competitively bidding and all marching the same direction towards raising funds for cancer research.
Absolutely. And so to give a little bit of the background on what Julie's talking about too, like she said, Remo, one of the things I said in a previous broadcast that we did with Ralph Sampson and UVA, the V Foundation doesn't do anything just subpar. It is not going to be your normal Zoom call. It's not going to be your normal event. So we are definitely pulling out all the stops for this. There are multiple ways to watch. Like she said, it will be available via YouTube. It will be a private link. And so you do have to sign up. So go ahead and go to v.org/Virginia Vine. Obviously, we'd love to have you in Virginia. Come stay at Salamander. Come check everything out. We could do watch parties there, have it live. But we have different levels that are available for you based on your comfortability of being with people. We'd love to have you join us. Remo is going to be very interactive. I know we're also working possibly on some VIP opportunities that happen to where celebs can actually come in and say hi to you. So even though we are in a virtual event this year, you may actually have more opportunity to actually connect with people in certain ways than you would if you were at a live event. So highly encouraged, please get involved. Again, v.org/Virginia Vine. It is going to be excellent. It's on April 24th. We can't wait. We're going to have Nashville songwriters Neil Thrasher and Paul Overstreet also doing private performances for us. Can't wait to hear from them. I'm a country girl at heart. I can name all the songs that they've written. So I can't wait for that one personally. Goodness. What else? I think that's what we have. And again, coming back, Jed, thank you again so much for
thank you guys. Appreciate it very, very much.
And truly, I mean, and I say this all the time, and I know obviously I have a lot of my Napa viewers follow this show as well. The Virginia wines are right up there, and these are incredible. This is an incredible trio that you introduced us to today, and it is so good. I can't recommend it enough. I love that there is such a just a unique imprint on wine that Virginia has, and that's one of the things I love about it. I feel like I'm just discovering a new palate day by day, which is wonderful. So again,
you're probably Californian. If I didn't believe in it, I couldn't sell it.
Exactly.
I think I was born with my pinky out. So
it's true. So once again, if you want to purchase these wines, please go out, purchase. This is one of the best things about this show and what we're doing. It's 25% back. That's a big percentage, you guys. So go to experiencegreenhill.com, check out their wines. And again, just use the code VWINE. So this isn't just a package. You can purchase any wine. You can go purchase a couple of cases of wine. The more you purchase, the more that comes back to us in the month of April. So we're so grateful. Jed, again, thank you for that.
Our pleasure.
Julie, thank you for being here. It has been such an honor to spend time with you. I know that obviously we haven't seen each other in person in quite some time. Miss seeing your face in person. And again, I know also that for our Voices for Victory podcast coming up in probably May, I think, we're going to be interviewing you later. And on our podcast, we'll kind of go more in depth into your background with your cancer story or your connection with cancer and all of that as well. So make sure to stay tuned for that on the Voices for Victory podcast. For all of the videos that Julie was mentioning earlier, make sure to follow the V Foundation. So it's at the V Foundation on social media, and you'll be getting a lot of those updates as well. I think that's it, guys. So let's go ahead and raise our glasses. At the end of every broadcast, we always raise our glass. And as I always say, until next time, don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.